We all know sleep is absolutely vital for our health. But what if the way you're settling in tonight is quietly shaping your brain's future
Mm,
and, your risk for serious conditions like stroke and dementia?
it's a really critical question.
Yeah, so this deep dive is all about that surprising connection, the one between your sleep position and your heart and brain health, especially as we age.
Right.
Today, we're hoping to equip you with some cutting-edge research and practical steps you can actually take tonight to protect your brain and heart.
And it really comes down to sometimes a simple, but the scientific findings from institutions like the American Heart Association and Johns Hopkins, they're revealing just how much a simple adjustment in how you position yourself could be a powerful and, importantly, accessible tool for stroke and dementia prevention as you age.
Okay, so let's imagine this. Your brain is like a bustling city, right? Always working, generating waste. What happens if the garbage trucks can't get through?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the roads are blocked, or maybe they're just stuck in traffic every single night for hours. It gets pretty messy, right?
It does. It's a perfect analogy, actually, for what happens in your brain if your sleep position isn't ideal for its nightly cleanup.
The nightly cleanup, tell us about that.
Exactly. So during sleep, our brains engage in this really critical cleaning process. It's done through what's called the glymphatic system.
Glymphatic system, okay.
Think of it as your brain's dedicated nightly housekeeping crew. This system, it efficiently clears out metabolic waste products, including harmful proteins like beta amyloid and tau.
And those are the ones linked to neurodegenerative diseases.
Precisely. The ones implicated in diseases like Alzheimer's.
And this isn't just theory, right? There's research backing this up.
Right, it's not just abstract science.
Yep.
Research from Stony Brook University back in 2015 actually suggested that sleeping in a lateral or, a side position
Okay.
may more effectively remove these brain wastes compared to sleeping on your back or on your stomach.
Wow, okay. So just changing how you lie down could help your brain clean itself better.
That's a powerful hint, yeah. This finding suggests a potential role for sleep position in maybe reducing the chances of developing diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Now, it's important to note the American Heart Association, they noted in 2025 that this research was, quote, nothing ready for prime time yet.
Right. Not definitive medical advice just yet.
Exactly, in terms of definitive recommendations. But even if it's not, a silver bullet, it's an incredibly intriguing area of study. It shows how a simple habit could potentially proactively manage brain health.
And there's more on this, isn't there? I think from Johns Hopkins.
Yes, and there's more. A Johns Hopkins study from 2019 made a pretty striking discovery. They found that individuals who already had neurodegenerative diseases, this included mild cognitive impairment and Alzheimer's, they spent significantly more time.
How much time?
Over 2 hours per night sleeping in a supine or face-up position compared to those with normal cognition.
2 hours more on their back? That seems significant.
It is. And what's really important here is that this association, it remained strong even after they accounted for other factors like age, sex, snoring, and sleep apnea.
Okay, so it wasn't just because of those other things.
Right. And Optoceutics, referencing some Harvard studies in 2025, reinforces this. They showed that people who slept supine, face up, exhibited higher levels of beta amyloid in their brains and also greater signs of cognitive impairment.
So the takeaway seems pretty clear then.
I think so. The takeaway here is that the supine position may simply be less effective for that glymphatic system activity,
Yeah.
allowing these harmful toxins to accumulate. So yes, that nightly waste removal really matters, especially as we get older.
Okay, so beyond just the brain's general cleanup, you mentioned a more direct link to stroke risk.
Yes, beyond general brain health and its nightly cleanup, there's an even more direct and frankly well-established connection between how you sleep and a serious condition that significantly increases stroke risk.
And that is?
We're talking about obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA.
Okay, OSA. Many people have heard of it, but what exactly is it?
It's a condition where your breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep. And the American Heart Association just this year highlighted that OSA is much, much worse when people sleep on their back versus on their sides.
Much worse. How common is it?
It affects approximately 34% of middle-aged men and about 17% of middle-aged women. And worryingly, many cases unfortunately go undiagnosed.
Wow, that's a huge number of people potentially at risk. And you mentioned earlier that the glymphatic research wasn't quite ready for prime time. How does that square with these seemingly urgent findings about OSA and back sleeping? Is the link stronger here?
That's a really great question. And it highlights the difference between, let's say, emerging research areas and established clinical links. With OSA, the connection to stroke is very well established. It's not theoretical.
Okay.
A study cited by Bessie CPAP in 2025 found that untreated OSA patients had a 2 to 3-fold higher risk of stroke.
2 to 3 times higher.
Yes. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, somewhere between 50 to 70% of people who actually have a stroke also have OSA.
50 to 70%, that's staggering.
It is. And men over 40 face the highest risks here. What's also concerning is that strokes occurring during sleep are particularly dangerous because they often go unnoticed for hours, which delays critical treatment and increases the likelihood of permanent brain damage.
That idea of a silent stroke is really terrifying.
Mm.
So for someone who knows they have OSA or maybe suspects it, what can they actually do? How much can changing position really help prevent stroke for them?
Well, for those with OSA, experts consistently recommend lateral, that's side sleeping. The goal is to reduce airway obstruction.
Mixed.
This is widely considered the best sleeping position to avoid stroke in OSA patients, according to Betty CPAP this year. The mechanism is pretty simple. Sleeping on your side helps keep the airway more open.
Are there tools or tricks to help people stay on their side?
Yes, absolutely. Even simple interventions can make a difference. There are electronic devices that give you a gentle alert if you roll onto your back, or even, the old-fashioned trick, shirts with the pocket sewn in the back for a tennis ball.
Oh, the tennis ball trick.
Yeah.
That actually work.
It can. It makes rolling onto your back uncomfortable enough that you tend to shift back to your side. These are practical, often low-cost ways for many adults to change their sleep habits for better health and significantly reduce their stroke risk, especially if they have OSA.
Okay, that paints a really clear picture of the risk with OSA and back sleeping. So if we're looking to make these simple changes for stroke prevention, what does this mean for our nightly habits overall? We've heard some neurologists have some pretty compelling firsthand accounts of how common sleep positions can silently sabotage brain health.
Yes, absolutely.
Could you share some of the most surprising or maybe the most dangerous ones?
Definitely. And this really raises that important question. Are you inadvertently putting yourself at risk every single night without realizing it? Let's look at some common yet potentially high-risk positions and why they can be problematic for your circulation and brain health. We've got several to cover here, and yeah, some might genuinely surprise you. They reveal how subtle habits can have major consequences over time.
Okay, let's start with maybe the most common one. Sleeping flat on your back, supine. We touched on it with the glymphatic system in OSA, but just how risky is it overall?
Well, while it is a preferred position for many, sleeping flat on your back, as we said, can impair that brain waste clearance. And crucially, it also significantly increases the risk or worsening of obstructive sleep apnea. So it's kind of a double whammy for brain health and stroke risk.
A double whammy, okay.
Yeah.
Now, what about that position where you tuck your arm under your pillow while on your back? It feels cozy, but is it okay?
Ah, that one. It's surprisingly dangerous, actually. Yes. Though it feels cozy, it actually presses down on your subclavian artery. That's a main blood vessel running just under your collarbone going to your arm.
Yeah, cool.
Sleeping like that for hours slows blood flow, it creates turbulence in the vessel, and that can potentially lead to clot formation. Johns Hopkins research in 2019 found a 21% higher chance of mini-strokes, or TIAs, in people who slept this way.
21% higher.
And that risk tripled for those over 60. There was a case, Jennifer, a 58-year-old teacher. Her MRI actually showed multiple tiny strokes that they linked to this decades-long habit.
Wow. So consistent pressure, even if it feels comfortable, can cause silent damage.
Exactly. The insight here is that consistent, localized pressure on major arteries can indeed create silent damage over many years.
Okay, from the back, let's flip over. What about sleeping on your stomach, prone? Some neurologists apparently call this a nightmare. That sounds pretty serious.
It truly is. Think about it. To breathe in this position, you have to twist your neck for hours.
Right, you have to turn your head.
Exactly. And doing that compresses one carotid artery, that's the main artery supplying the front of your brain, and it stretches the other one. This significantly reduces blood flow to your brain.
Okay, that doesn't sound good.
No. A University of Michigan study in 2021 found stomach sleepers were 33% more likely to develop carotid artery plaque. And their arteries actually appeared, on average, 10 years older than their chronological age.
10 years older.
Yes. There was another case, Robert, a 45-year-old software engineer. He started experiencing these lightning bolts in his vision. It turned out to be dangerous narrowing of his arteries linked to his lifelong habit of stomach sleeping. The constant twisting is the main culprit, compromising that vital blood supply.
Okay, so stomach sleeping is definitely out. What about side sleeping again? But this time, tucking an arm under your head while on your side. That feels very common too.
Very common, yes, but also problematic. This position compresses the brachial plexus and the thoracic outlet.
Okay, what are those?
Think of it as the vital network of nerves and blood vessels connecting your neck down into your arm and chest. Squeezing this area for hours doesn't just reduce blood flow to your arm, causing tingling or numbness.
Which most people have felt, probably.
Right, but that back pressure, the pressure buildup, can actually reach your brain. Stanford researchers in 2022 observed an average of 43 episodes per night of reduced brain blood flow in people sleeping this way.
43 times a night.
Yes, each lasting up to 3 minutes. If you add that up, it's nearly 2 hours of compromised circulation nightly.
2 hours?
Wow. And over years, this was linked to white matter lesions, little spots of damage in the brain, and a 56% higher stroke risk. Maria, a 62-year-old nurse, developed memory problems and brain tissue damage directly linked to this habit.
So the key takeaway there is anything that persistently cuts down blood flow, even subtly, adds up over time.
Precisely. It creates a cumulative risk.
Okay, now for a really complex-sounding one, the twisted pretzel position. What happens when you twist your upper and lower body in different directions?
Yeah, the pretzel. This position stretches and bends the vertebral arteries. These run up the back of your neck, through the spine, and supply about 20% of your brain's blood, particularly the back part, responsible for balance and coordination.
Okay.
UCLA researchers in 2023 found this position reduced vertebral artery blood flow by a staggering 67% on average.
2/3 reduction.
Yes. And in people over 55, they detected microembolisms, basically tiny clots or maybe even air bubbles in 41% of cases. This led to a nearly 5 times higher stroke rate over 3 years compared to a control group who didn't sleep twisted.
5 times higher stroke rate.
It's significant. Thomas, a 55-year-old construction foreman, actually suffered a stroke in the back of his brain attributed to sleeping twisted like this for years. So the core insight is that any severe twisting of the spine, not just the neck, can restrict crucial blood supply.
Right. Finally, the one you said is considered most dangerous. The tight fetal position, specifically with your chin tucked right down to your chest. This sounds almost counterintuitive, like it should be safe and cozy.
It does feel secure, but physiologically, it's quite dangerous. This position compresses both carotid arteries, remember, they supply 80% of the brain's blood, and it squeezes the jugular veins, which are crucial for draining blood from the brain.
So it restricts flow both in and out.
Exactly. It severely restricts both the inflow and the outflow of blood. Harvard Medical School research in 2023 found people sleeping this way had over 100 episodes per night of severely reduced brain blood flow.
Over 100 times a night?
Yes. And after just 5 years, 78% showed signs of silent strokes on brain scans, and over a third eventually had a major disabling stroke. David, a 68-year-old retired accountant, developed dozens of these silent strokes and started gasping in his sleep due to this tight curling habit.
That's incredibly stark.
It is. The crucial insight here is that while it might feel secure, excessively curling up can effectively, strangle the vital blood flow to and from your brain. Comfort can be really deceptive when it comes to circulation.
Jennifer's story. Robert's. Maria's. Thomas's. David's. These really highlight how insidious these seemingly harmless habits can be, building up damage over decades, often without clear symptoms until it's quite advanced. Does this mean prevention needs to start much earlier than we typically think? Or is it ever too late to reverse some of this potential damage by changing positions?
That's the crucial point. It's absolutely never too late to make a positive change. And yes, the earlier you start, the better, obviously. These anecdotes are stark reminders that simple, long-standing habits can potentially make a life-saving difference down the line. But the good news is, armed with this knowledge, you can consciously shift away from these high-risk positions.
Okay, so thankfully, it's not all doom and gloom. There are proven, safer ways to sleep that can actively protect your brain and heart. Let's explore the best options. What should we be aiming for?
Right. This is where we shift from just identifying the risks to actionable prevention. So first, there's what some call the cardiovascular neutral position. Basically, it's an elevated back sleep. This is highly recommended.
Elevated back sleep. Okay. How do you achieve that comfortably? I mean, without feeling like you're sleeping propped up in a hospital bed, what does it practically involve?
It's usually quite subtle. You lie on your back, but with a slight elevation for your upper body, maybe 15 to 30 degrees.
Okay.
You can achieve this comfortably using a wedge pillow, which provides gradual support. Or, if you happen to have one, an adjustable bed base works perfectly.
And pillows for head and legs.
Yes, good point. A cervical pillow is often recommended to support your neck in its natural curve. And placing a small pillow under your knees helps ease lower back strain and also helps prevent you from sliding down the wedge or bed. It's all about strategic, subtle support.
And what are the benefits of sleeping this way, slightly elevated on your back?
This position really uses gravity to its advantage. It helps facilitate smooth blood flow to the brain, ensuring a steady oxygen supply. Some research suggests it could potentially reduce stroke risk by as much as 43% compared to those dangerous postures we discussed.
43% reduction, that's huge.
It is. And it also aids that glymphatic system, the brain detoxification process. Plus, it can alleviate symptoms of acid reflux, snoring, and even sleep apnea, all common issues that tend to worsen when you lie completely flat on your back.
Okay, so elevated back sleep is one good option. What about side sleepers? Is there an optimized side sleeping position or lateral position that's best?
Absolutely. Side sleeping is another excellent choice, particularly sleeping on your left side, though either side is generally better than back or stomach.
Why the left side specifically?
There's some thought it might be slightly better for circulation and reducing pressure on the heart, and perhaps aiding digestion, but generally side sleeping helps with that brain waste removal, those beta amyloid and tau proteins we talked about. It improves circulation and blood flow to vital organs and aids lymphatic system drainage overall. And as we covered, it's specifically recommended for individuals with sleep apnea because it helps keep the airways open.
You mentioned pillows earlier. It seems like the right pillow choice is really key here, matching it to your position.
Precisely. The right pillow is crucial not just for comfort, but for supporting your neck muscles properly. Generally, for supine sleeping, back sleeping, even elevated rectangular pillows tend to be more comfortable and reduce neck muscle activity.
Right.
But for lateral or side sleeping, cylindrical pillows, sometimes called contour pillows, are often found to be more comfortable and lead to lower muscular activity in key neck muscles, like the big sternocleidomastoid muscle on the side of your neck.
Interesting. So the shape really matters. What about the filling?
Well, interestingly, a 2025 study in the Open Public Health Journal found wool to be a promising alternative pillow material. It often performed as well as, or sometimes even slightly better than, memory foam in reducing neck muscle activity for various positions.
Ooh, huh.
Yeah.
Okay, so simple pillow changes can be a really effective and pretty easy win for brain health.
Definitely an easy one.
And to make sure you actually stay in these safer positions throughout the night, because we all toss and turn, right? What are some practical tools or strategies?
Right. Staying put can be the challenge. You can effectively use pillows as barriers. Just place standard pillows on each side of your body. This can help prevent you from rolling fully onto your back or getting into those twisted postures.
Little bumpers.
Exactly. A body pillow can be great too, especially for preventing that pretzel twist. You kind of hug it and it keeps your alignment better. And putting a small pillow between your knees when side sleeping helps align your hips and spine, reducing strain.
What about preventing that dangerous tight fetal curl?
For that specific issue, sometimes a soft cervical collar can gently prevent excessive chin tucking. Or a large C-shaped pregnancy pillow can work wonders by providing support that discourages you from curling up too tightly. It's really about creating a sleep sanctuary that encourages optimal alignment, almost training your body into a healthier habit over time.
Okay, this is all incredibly practical. But while sleep position is clearly powerful, and as we've seen, a potentially simple lever for stroke prevention, it's still just one piece of a larger health puzzle, isn't it?
That's absolutely right. It's crucial to remember that. Protecting your brain and heart is a holistic effort, especially as we age. Alongside optimizing your sleep position, we have to remember those other critical lifestyle factors for stroke prevention.
Like what? Remind us of the basics.
Well, controlling blood pressure is huge. Maintaining a healthy diet, low in saturated and trans fats, sodium, added sugars, getting regular physical activity. The recommendation is usually about 150 minutes of moderate intensity or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise each week, plus muscle strengthening activities a couple of times a week.
So it really isn't just about what you do or don't do in bed, it's the whole 24-hour cycle.
Precisely. Avoiding smoking and vaping is critical. Maintaining a healthy weight, limiting alcohol consumption, managing stress effectively, and getting regular medical checkups, these are all vital components. And of course, aiming for the recommended 7 to 9 hours of adequate sleep each night for adults. Sleep position optimizes the quality within that quantity. These are the foundational elements for maintaining cognitive and cardiovascular health throughout life.
What about people who might have underlying physical issues, maybe in their neck, that could affect blood flow regardless of how they try to sleep?
That's a really critical consideration and something people should be aware of. For some individuals, conditions like cervical spine instability, where the neck bones and ligaments aren't providing enough support, maybe due to injury or arthritis, can compromise blood flow to the brain, regardless of typical sleep positions.
So even a safe position might not be enough if there's an underlying structural problem.
Potentially, yes. This highlights the importance of overall neck health, as Caring Medical noted in 2025. If you suspect issues like chronic neck pain, dizziness, or neurological symptoms that don't seem to fit other explanations, seeking professional medical advice is crucial. Some of these symptoms can be profound and need specific diagnosis and treatment beyond just changing sleep habits.
And changing habits, especially sleep habits we've had for decades, can be really tough. What's the best approach to actually make these changes stick?
Making changes gradually is definitely key. Changing sleep habits takes time and patience. Don't expect perfection overnight. Start small. Maybe just commit to beginning the night in a desired safe position.
Okay.
You could use gentle alarms or even vibrations from a smartwatch as reminders if you notice you consistently roll into a less ideal position. Addressing underlying stress or anxiety through relaxation techniques before bed can also help your body settle more easily into safer alignments. Think of it as a journey of subtle adjustments, not an overnight stressful switch.
That makes sense. Be kind to yourself about
Comment.
it. And finally, how do we know if our current sleep position might actually be causing problems, perhaps subtly? How do we listen to our body for these potential warning signs?
That's important, tuning into your body. Pay attention to signals like persistent morning brain fog, unusual dizziness upon waking, or tingling or numbness in your arms or hands. These could be subtle signs of circulation problems related to sleep posture. Also, if you consistently find it impossible to get comfortable, or if you experience difficulty breathing when lying flat, or if you find yourself falling asleep easily during the day despite thinking you got enough sleep hours, these are red flags. It's definitely time to talk to a healthcare professional. They could indicate a more serious underlying condition, like undiagnosed sleep apnea, that really warrants medical attention.
Okay, so bringing this all together, it seems incredibly clear. Your sleep position isn't just about comfort, is it? It's a truly powerful, actionable lever for protecting your brain and your heart health.
Absolutely.
It impacts everything from your long-term risk of stroke and dementia to how sharp you feel tomorrow morning, your daily cognitive function. Making a simple change to your sleep posture could genuinely be one of the easiest, yet maybe most profound ways to safeguard your future health.
And this really raises an important question, doesn't it? What's stopping you, the listener, from trying this tonight? The really encouraging part is that, unlike your genetics, your sleep position is something you can actively control.
That's empowering.
It is. Making small, conscious adjustments using some of these pillow strategies can make a life-saving difference over time. Remember, that goal of 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep is key. And sleeping in the right position can significantly enhance that quality. It helps your brain clear out toxins, helps your heart pump more efficiently, helps your airways stay open.
So tonight, as you prepare for bed, we challenge you. Just pay attention for a moment. Notice how you naturally settle. Could a small adjustment, maybe trying that elevated back position or optimizing your side sleeping with a different pillow, could that add healthy years to your life?
It's worth considering.
Imagine the cumulative power of years spent sleeping smart for your brain. What new discoveries about your own sleep, your own body, could you unlock tonight just by knowing you're taking a simple positive step towards profound stroke prevention? Your brain really does deserve the best circulation it can get every single night.